Before we get started today, I want to say thank you for every single like, comment, recommendation, and a very special thank you to my listener support group. If you like what we do here at Off the Deep End Podcast, please consider checking out the listener support tab on our channel's anchor link. Without you, we would not be able to continue the great work we're doing with these conversations, breaking down boundaries and helping heal each other by sharing our stories, our trials, our tribulations, and how we process them. Let's jump straight into this episode.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Deep End Podcast. I am joined today with someone who is not just unique, very special to me personally. He is my brother from the Navy. We served, we deployed, and we had to say our goodbyes in Norfolk, Virginia, quite a few years ago. So I'm so blessed to be reunited with my brother Ham from the TR
Damn,
2015 deployment crew, the best
no.
crew the Navy ever seen. Look out.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Well, how is life past our previous experiences? What's changed since we got done with deployment, man?
Well, a lot has changed. I I could say, I had my baby. Well, she was born while we were on deployment, so I became a father since then. I became a husband since then. I moved back to Florida. So I've just grown a lot, changed a lot. Evolved a lot, as I should say. So yeah.
Excellent, man. Excellent.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think congratulations are in order. Having a daughter, what a blessing that must be.
Yes, it
I know
is. Yeah.
that creating life, man, and obviously your relationship, marriage.
Mm.
Marriage is something that's so special. And congratulations, man. One of my favorite songs by Usher and Wale is can't remember the name, but they talk about it in the beginning. Marriage is like a roller coaster, right? Going up the engagement,
Matrimony. Yeah. Yeah.
the matrimony, that's what it's called. But you're going up you hear those, you getting that rush of the endorphins emotion. Click click clack. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna shit myself? Am I gonna freak out? Am I gonna cry? Is someone gonna take a picture of me, or am I gonna drop my phone? And then you get to the top, and then bam, you go over
Yeah.
the hill and you're screaming. It's like taking your little planet of life and jumping onto another one. And I love those analogies, man, because it blows me away every single day as I transverse this thing called life. And being with my wife is just like every day is a new adventure. So
Yeah.
I hope it's the same for you or something similar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can say the same. The most exciting thing about it is you never stop learning that person. Things happen, trauma might come, but you learn to adapt, and you're adapting with somebody. So yeah, I can say the same.
Absolutely, man. I love your outlook on it.
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously in the Navy still, right? How many more
Yes,
years you
sir.
got? How many more years you got, man?
Man, I got 5 more years on this contract, man.
Okay. Okay. Are you thinking about renewing?
2027. Yeah, I might as well knock out the last five. I'm gonna try to the way I'm trying to plan out the rest of my career afterwards. I got a pretty solid plan. Just hopefully things go my way. So yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, that's definitely exciting, man. Well, congratulations to you. I hope your future in the military is absolutely wonderful. Well, let's start from the start, man.
Mm.
What convinced you to leave Florida and put on a uniform and get around a bunch of people who talk like me instead of who talk like you?
Uh, well, I really didn't have anything else going. I graduated high school June that year, and I went to boot camp August, and I just really didn't see myself going to college at all. I didn't want to hang around Pensacola for any much longer. So, it just happened so fast, honestly. Like one day I was signing the contract. Next day I was on a plane to Chicago. That night I was on the bus getting yelled at. So
No, man, that damn TV too on the bus.
yeah.
Every
Oh
once in a
yeah.
while they're yelling, "Shut up,
Yeah,
watch the TV."
yeah.
Who was your last phone
Yeah.
call before boot camp too?
Oh, it was my mom.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the last person I talked to. And yeah, couple of weeks later, I was getting those letters flown in. So yeah, she really kept me grounded. So
I love that, man.
yeah.
I love that. Is she still with us today?
Oh yeah, she is for sure.
Excellent,
For sure.
excellent. And you're down near home too, so you got a great relationship going on. You know, she can be present for the baby and everything. I think that's magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, so what was boot camp like for you? Was it? I know it's a culture shock for most people, being around a bunch of these people from every single different dimension, every single a whole lot of different dialects there, different styles of how they were raised. A lot of people from the hood, a lot of people were from the burbs who said they were from the hood.
Yeah.
You know, you never know what you're walking into.
Yeah, there's plenty of those, but I don't know. It was I kind of had mixed emotions in boot camp because I mean, one day everything going fine, the next day somebody getting yelled at over the most pettiest thing, which was kind of understandable though, because as long as you go in there with the right mindset and you just do what you told, it's an easy day. So I mean, like I said, it was just mixed emotions. Some days were easier than others. The first few days we didn't even get any sleep for real. That was definitely a culture shock because I
Mhm.
was definitely used to going to sleep when I was ready to go to sleep instead of being up 72 hours. So, but other than that, I thought it was a breeze, honestly. The prone float that kept me on my toes for a few weeks, but other than that, it was a breeze.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I wasn't used to the prone flow either. I've been swimming for I don't know how many years. I used to pretend after that Coast Guard movie, The Guardsman came out, I thought I could do everything they did. So I used to, during class, or swimming class or going swimming with buddies, I'd grab them and I'd do like the combat rescue swim, stuff, and I'd pretend I was just a superstar swimmer. And
Yeah, yeah.
float came up and I'm like, what? You want me to do what? You want me to? And you want me to fill up these? You want me to fill up this uniform with air?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Like,
Yeah.
it was definitely cracked me up quite a bit, man. Oh God. And okay, so you leaving boot camp,
Mhm.
you got these amazing orders to probably the finest ship, I would have to say,
Yeah,
in the United States
yeah.
ever. Ever. There's no better ship. I don't care how big these yachts get. That's probably the best ship ever. What was it like for you
Yeah,
when you first walked up to the aircraft carrier?
I'll never forget, man. The first words that were told to me because we were in the shipyard. This man, like, I don't even know what his rank was, but he told me, "Welcome to hell." And I just look up and I just see this massive floating tin can, man. I'll never forget that day. Yeah. But I also thought, like being in the shipyards, I feel like that was very detrimental for real because we weren't out as much and we got to enjoy time with like the friends, we made. Uh, just it was like a regular 9 to 5 for real.
Mhm.
You did your work, got off and hung out. It wasn't those back-to-back sea trials, where you too exhausted to even want to be around other people and talk to other people, especially coming off that 10 to 2.
Oh God, 10 to 2. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want to talk to
man.
nobody.
Yeah.
I got lanyards to sell. I ain't got no time for that.
But yeah, the shipyards, I mean, I just feel like that was like really the foundation of, making those friendships. So yeah, we definitely hung out a lot, me, Brown and Evans and White and Woodbury, Johnson, Legion, all of them. Yeah, so yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's definitely important, like when you go into a new environment to find your tribe, and obviously you click with the people you just named. I think that's amazing. One of my
right.
favorite things about getting on the ship for the first time, I didn't know anybody, and I got there right after Christmas, so the ship was empty. They put me in the berthing next to the big berthing, and there was a
Mm.
hole in the side of the ship. Like I'm not talking about a small hole. I'm talking about a
Yeah.
2 foot by 2 foot hole in the side of where I was sleeping, and it got so
Mm.
cold that night. I had like frost all over my sleeping bag. all over my toes.
Yeah.
I had curled up, just covered myself with every single article of clothing that wasn't military, issued that I had. And
Mhm.
somebody walks in there smoking a cigarette, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And they throw the cigarette out. Are you okay, man? You were frozen to death. And I said, "No, I ain't good, man. This is fun." So they like moved me on a ship when no one was supposed to be sleeping on there or whatever. But Swartz after
Yeah.
that came and put me on the goddamn ship, dude. What was one of your favorite tasks while being in the shipyard to do, occupationally?
Honestly, bro, I don't even remember too much what we did in the shipyard. I remember I used to go out there and help them with the life rafts. You know, it was me, Fiores, Cole, and Big E.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the only task I probably remember. And the only reason why I feel like I remember that is because I remember we had the help of the shipyard workers, and that was the day when the government they couldn't agree. That was the year, or one of the years, the government couldn't agree on the budget, so the shipyard workers weren't getting paid. So we had to, cover down for the shipyard workers because they just left.
Yeah, they just walked off.
Yeah,
I remember that, man.
yeah. They just walked out of there, man. Which is understood though, because if I wasn't, you can't do nothing for free, man. Can't do
No money,
nothing
no
for
honey.
free. Yeah,
Definitely not.
yeah. That's probably. Yeah, I really don't remember too much. Like besides, like the painting and of course, just getting the ship prepared to leave the shipyard. I really don't remember too many day-to-day tasks for real. I just remember mustering to go home. Yeah, that's about it, man.
Yeah, brother. I think I really really disliked the shipyards as well. I mean, I got to do anything that involved heavy lifting, anything that involved moving the worst, most ridiculous object possible. Carry on and me got stuck doing it. So I don't know
Yeah,
how Anderson always showed up somehow. I don't know. He just always was right there. There was heavy stuff involved and trying to
yeah.
move it around the ship. I don't know how he got away with that, man. So those damn life rafts, I absolutely hated them. I remember I had to work on them a couple of times. What changed as you got started doing those workups and getting ready for sea? Because I know everything changes dramatically for me as far as like my experience was. Everything changed.
um, yeah, I mean, like the quality of work that definitely changed because we weren't so reliant on the shipyard workers anymore. We became more independent. So, just now, just we had more things to do as far uh, as like just day to day tasks. It was plenty more to do. More painting. We didn't have the excuse of all the shipyard workers were in there, so we couldn't do this and that. You know, it was just more of a heavier workload on top of watch, which wasn't too bad because like after a certain point in time throughout the day, if you still watch, you were off working section. You had to get back to work. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, working
that's
section is what it is.
yeah,
They always complain too. Like, oh,
yeah,
we have to stand. They're like, what they had to say, like 2 hours. They had to just come back after dinner or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
You had to stand at 10 to 2.
yeah, you got to 10 to 2. You remember the
10 to 2.
suicide day when we you start off with unrep, and then you had
Oh yes, man.
GQ, and then
Boy.
you had to watch, and then no, I can't remember what was the lineup again. It was ridiculous. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
up for
like
almost 4 hours.
yeah, it was like we had to be up early for unwrap, and then that took a few hours. And then you had to go back on watch. I think it was like the 12 to 17, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had to do GQ, and then whatever watch you had that night. What was the next watch after that? Somewhere in there was a 10 to 2. It was a
The
10 to
two to
2 somewhere in
seven.
there. the 2 to 7 too.
The 2 to 7 was the next one, and that was was murder. And then you go to work.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
You go work, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Boy,
rough.
stand by for that day.
Yes, Lord. That wasn't it. As soon as did GQ happen, I was pissed. I was always dressed up in FFE. I was the investigator, so I had to be first on the scene.
Investigator, man. You was investigator for a long time, bro.
I know.
Me on the other
I need
hand,
to know too.
yeah. Me on the other hand, I was a stretcher bearer, bro. That's the best role you can play, bro.
You know what?
I was
I
the
can think
stretcher
of nothing
bearer.
more brave than carrying a fallen comrade. I agree with you, man. Man.
Stretcher bearer,
So
it was an easy day.
yeah, stretcher bearer, easy day, man. Definitely. So what is some of the most critical components to being a boatswain's mate? Obviously you've been doing it for a little bit now. I find it very, very individual for everybody who I ask this question. For some people it's, oh yeah, man, I got to drive the boat. Yeah, that was it. Driving that motherfucking boat. Others it's, there was nothing more important to me than having that camaraderie with the POs. Once you put on rank and joining that brotherhood of and sisterhood of having people around you can rely on and you can work together to accomplish whatever goal is. Usually the goal is getting the uppers off your damn back, but it's different for everybody. What was like for you, man?
I would say, man, key is to just pay attention to detail, man. You know, as a BM3 or even a BMSN, like if you assign a task, man, just do it black and white, man. Like don't skip no steps. You know, just do it. Like you just want to be able to do it how, you know, and if like you want to do it as if you're going to be the one supervising it. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's like if you know you have somebody like being on one span coming behind you, man, you want to make sure man, you want to knock it out and then just sit back and observe as if being one, as if you were being one, inspecting it, and you know just seeing Chief span now, but
Yeah, he up there now. He got big dog
yeah,
status.
he is.
Yeah.
That's really key. Just pay attention to detail. You know, you can't be using your seaman eyes to expect something you did. So yeah. Driving the boat, cool, but after a while, you're not even driving the boat anymore. You're supervising the people driving the boat. So,
What's your favorite thing that you were able to get qualified for while you're in deck?
I'm rep. I like being a rigger a lot. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to say, but I really like our evolutions because it's like they're dangerous. You know, you get like a little rush.
Yeah.
So everything we do is very dangerous. So, you know, it just make you keep on your toes. You know, you got to stay on your toes, knowing almost everything we do. So, and I really like driving the ship at one point in time. It just depends on what watch it was.
Oh yeah,
10 to 2, 2 to 7. I ain't feel like it, man. Get somebody else to do it, bro.
Get somebody else to do it, man. I remember I cannot get the image out of my head of Doc Rivers just grabbing the wheel and spinning it as hard as he can. Other arm spinning it as hard as he can. And the ship would go straight. I didn't understand that shit. He was working the damn runners all damn night. He was laughing. I didn't understand what he said because he was talking so fast and he was late. It was late, but he was spitting that motherfucker all the same. Man, it cracks me up.
Yeah, man, Doc was a fool at the helm though. Doc, Beefy, man, they were a fool, bro. They could do that, man.
Yeah, you ever go to Vegas, man?
Who?
You ever go to Vegas lately?
Nah.
When you do, go hit up Beefy, man. Yeah, go meet him for drinks, man. It's
I ain't seen Beefy since he left. I ain't seen Beefy in a minute, man.
Yeah, it's great to see him, dude. Okay, so you love unrep. What is one thing to look out for when it comes to unrep? What's the most dangerous aspect about it? Because you did bring up how dangerous it was. I know that for me personally, I was thinking snapback because I've watched snapback happen. I've shoved people out of the way, and I also got hit in the face quite a few times during snapback.
You read my
I was
mind,
bleeding everywhere,
man.
brother. I was bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, you read my mind. Snapback for sure. That's for sure one thing. If you don't look out for anything else, you gotta watch some snapbacks. I remember we were on station, I believe it was station 5, man. And Senior Osbury was out there. You know, Senior Osbury, he ain't no short dude, man. And I remember the snapback happened and like it went directly towards him. And he had to kind of like duck, like stick and move out the way. Yeah, that's really the only time I ever seen a snapback on station. But you know, after a while, like especially during deployment, like we got that unrep down. Like we were running 5 stations at a time, you know. So I just feel like after a while, like everybody was just level headed. Everybody was on the same page. Everybody moved as one. So it wasn't really too much to worry about after a while. But with that being said, you also got to look out for complacency as well. So
Absolutely. Complacency can get you all jacked up. Oh man, I've had some times where people weren't looking, and I've grabbed them out from under the load. I had to stop the operation, whatever. You know, it's always important to pay attention to everything because you never know when you're in
yeah,
a no square, you're gonna get lit up by that line, no
mm.
matter where you are. So
Yeah. Speaking of, I remember one of the last unreps I did. It was rigging on the GW, and Thomas. So you know how like at the end of the evolution when we're sending everything back, and um, you got to tell the seaman like as a rigger, you got to be on the last one on the line. You got to tap the seaman, you know,
oh
tell them
yeah.
get out the way. And for some reason, like I don't know what it was, but I was that rigger that day, and I was tapping them. They were just moving so slow out the way, so it took me a minute. Like I almost had to like grab some of them, just push them out the way. And time was running out. Like that line was going, and you know, like I'm only $150 at a time. I can only do so much with that line. And Thomas came out of nowhere, man. He like picked me up from the back of my coveralls and just moved me out the way. And yeah, man, my tail end was hurting for a minute, man. But that's one unrep I'll never forget for that reason.
Mm. I'm glad he was able to recognize a dangerous situation and step in, man.
Yeah,
It's never it's like almost a priceless thing to be able to recognize a bad situation and step in and help out a friend. There's nothing more
yeah,
important.
yeah. Yeah, that's one unrep I'll never forget.
Mm-mm. Absolutely not. Well, I definitely enjoyed every single unrep except for the one on my birthday because afterward I got my ass whipped. But you know, I remember it was June 24th, 2015. I was out there getting my ass whooped right after unrep. Man, it was an absolute
it's
mess.
it's crazy you said that because I was just telling some of my seamen the other day that you know we lived the same day twice when we had crossed the international date line.
Oh yeah.
And I was telling them it was Parat birthday that day. I'll never forget that day, 11, 13, 15. And I remember we couldn't even find, like, I don't even know, like, I guess people were, you know, trying to find him for that reason because it was his birthday. And then somebody got on Facebook was like, "Oh, this is his birthday, bro. That's why he been hiding." He got, yeah, he got twice that day just because we lived his birthday twice.
Oh man,
uh,
a whole lot of good memories that come from just creating that I wouldn't say hostile, but like mild hostility environment, getting out that built up aggression that we all had.
yeah, it was
I know the
needed,
gym was
man.
huge for me. The gym was
Yeah,
huge, man. Every single day, as soon as it was not 150 degrees outside, I was hitting the gym. So
yeah,
that motherfucker was hot. So who are your
yeah. Well,
top most influential people that you've served in the military with, and why?
ah, me like as far as mentors go,
Yeah, as far as mentors, like who are some standouts to you? Because I had so many people that stood out to me, man.
it's a lot, man. I say Thor. That was the first one, you know, that took me under his wing for real. Then Fiores. Fiores really looked out for me. Perry, of course. Doc, majorly. Doc wasn't just my mentor, like in the workplace. He was my mentor outside the workplace too. bro, any decision I needed to make, bro, I went to docs first. Anything, but let's see, span. Um, that was just off top, on the TR, but outside the TR, Shockley, she really looked out for me when all those above left. Yeah, sort of, definitely. And it took me a minute to appreciate Big Mooney. It took me a minute, man. It took me a minute. But Big Mooney, yeah. Big Mooney definitely up there too. And I can't forget about Chief Johnson, man.
Oh
Matter of
yeah.
fact, give me 1 minute, bro. Give me 1 minute. Hold on.
Are you thinking about making a podcast? Spotify has a platform that lets you make one, and if I can figure it out, you definitely can too. You can create your own content all in one place for free with zero hangups and even earn money as soon as you get started. Spotify lets you record and edit episodes from your phone or computer so you can go mobile, just like I enjoy to do. My favorite thing about it is that you can create video episodes if you wish and upload them to wherever podcasts are heard. You can even set up subscriptions or, if you're like me, listener support options for listeners to help you grow. I 10 out of 10 recommend the Spotify for Podcasters app. Or, why don't you just step over to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your own podcast.
So I'm glad I said Chief Johnson because let me show you what he gifted me. Well, I don't know if you remember, but it was a point in time during deployment. He tasked me with making him a coin holder, and he was supposed to give me a coin for doing so. So I was talking to one of my seamen, like maybe like last month sometime, and I had thought about the coin that he said he was gonna give me, and I had hit him up about it, and he was just telling me, well, I asked him if he still had it or if he knew where I could get one from, and he asked for my address, and I was like, dang, like you, like I really wasn't expecting him to send it right away,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the coin. I don't know
Oh
if you
my
ever seen one of
God.
these. Do you remember these? Have you seen this before?
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, it's the Hallspark coin.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
that's
joint
fire, man.
A1, man. Yeah,
You gotta put that in a lanyard, man. You gotta put that in a lanyard. That
yeah, something, man. Yeah, I've been plotting. I definitely been plotting, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, this is definitely one of my most prized possessions right now.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
definitely is a prized possession, man. Oh Lord.
yeah, but yeah, yeah, Chief Johnson definitely up there too, man. Yeah, he really looked out for me, especially on deployment. I remember he made me um as far as like studying wise, like he was definitely one of the ones that was definitely on me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily I made BM3 at the end of that deployment. So
Yeah, you did,
yeah,
man. I can't stop getting excited about moments like that. Seeing
yeah,
others succeed has always been one of my. I don't really understand the whole envy thing or jealousy with people when you don't succeed and you see others around you that do. I think it's important to be
yeah.
celebrate that moment and be
Oh
excited
yeah,
for those around you and
for
because they'll
sure.
be the same person to lift you up in different ways where you have strengths or
Yeah,
weaknesses as a leader.
yeah.
What are some of the poor leadership qualities that you've experienced throughout the years that do you think that in general can be similar with other commands, different command structures, who people come and go? Like what things can have you experienced that you would like to change with your leadership style?
Honestly, bro, like I brag about the chain of command we had all the time, bro. Like especially like TRG Dub, like I wouldn't complain about anybody. Like we had a pretty solid chain of command, pretty solid. Like from day one to the shipyards on the TR to bringing the G Dub to the shipyards, I wouldn't complain about any of them. I mean, as long as we did what we did, like they were out the way. So, uh, I wouldn't say until just recently for real. Like, because after that, I went down to shore duty at Port Ops Mayport. Really wouldn't complain about that either for real. But um, it's just you know, it's funny you say that, man. It's so funny you ask that. But I have come across people, that you know they just do what they want to do and say what they want to say to certain people, you know, and I just never personally experienced that. Like I can't say that because Mooney gave me a chewing one time, but I deserved it, so it's not as bad. But I just don't like seeing people being disrespected.
I
So
feel you.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Okay.
That's
And
all I'm gonna say.
so
Yeah, but
as a leader,
I mean,
try to be respectful
yeah,
to those of
yeah,
your subordinates, correct?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't necessarily happen to me, but I was around it and I checked it, and I just left it at that. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, I just don't know what it is, but we just really were very fortunate to have a chain of command that not necessarily cared because I mean, you will get cared for if do what you're supposed to do, but yeah, yeah, we were just very fortunate to have the leadership we had. So yeah, just
100%, man.
leave it at that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that this was going to come up sooner rather than later, man. I know that you're a part of the you're currently trying to establish at your command the assist program. Can you tell me a little bit
sir.
about what that is? Because I know I'm just going to say that personally, suicide in the military has been a very, very big issue for me.
Yes, man.
I've lost
And
quite a
we
few
lost,
friends,
yeah,
man.
we lost. I was about to say we lost at least three, so
Yeah,
personally that we knew. Yeah,
mhm,
it's unfortunate, man. Yeah,
yeah,
so assist it stands for applied suicide intervention skills training. And it's more so of like a safeguard, to prevent people from, you know, unfortunately taking their life in their own hands. So um, it's a 2-day course, 8 hours. um, it's basically you learning skills and then you role play a lot. Like that second day, like it's definitely a lot of role play. And you just take turns, you partner up, and in between your group, you have to come up with a scenario. One person had to be the victim, then the other person had to be, the person that's going to talk them down. And then you switch roles, and you're doing this in front of everybody else. So it was very interesting. Um, and it's basically just like a safeguard. They love to preach, just keeping them safe for now. Like come up with a plan in between you two. Like say if I were the victim, you would help me come up with a plan to keep me safe for now. And I just really like the idea of that because people always relapse. You could relapse on anything. So yeah, that's pretty much. And you just watch a lot of videos on the first day, and it's like the instructors. It's like you had no choice but to pay attention to certain stuff because if you don't catch it, and the instructors they'll pause it and then we'll talk about it and they'll just keep it moving. So they just make sure everybody's on the same track basically throughout the class. I really liked it. I just feel like not a lot of people really know about it. And as you know, when we haul spark to the G Dub, that's when, I mean, I still didn't really know too much about it, but the people that were in the program, they stood out with their t-shirts and stuff, and it made you wonder, hey, what does assist mean? Like, what is that group? And, they had up the flyers. And yeah, so I just plan on copying and pasting that to my current ship. Cause like you said, suicide is very still real. And matter of fact, I got some numbers. Navy suicides in 2013, there were 41, and in 2022, that rose to 70. So just in the Navy alone, yeah, that's just a lot, man.
Yeah,
It's a
brother.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
I lost
So,
quite a few friends last year, and across the board, across the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and the Army, and
mm,
friends and family, people who are serving active duty, veterans is a huge demographic for it as well. I know that stats are usually downplayed as well because there's always
mm,
people who don't want certain statistics and information to get out to the rest of the world, and I can
right.
understand optics are important, but that's not something to necessarily play with. Um, one of the toughest things that I think I've incurred or encountered so far of this current year is the depth of the conversations with where my friends are reaching out to me because it's no secret I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a
Mm,
clinical therapist, I'm not um a someone who's licensed to deal with mental health, but I do my best to support my friends when they're in times of need. What do you think is one thing we can do from an active duty standpoint? Like obviously right now you're leading the way with this, you're setting up
mm.
an assist program. How crazy would it be if everybody on the ship joined assist? Everybody's looking out for everybody. That would be a huge idea. What do you think other than that can we do as active duty sailors, soldiers, Marines, guardsmen, and whatever the hell they call the people in the Air Force? I always got to rag on them to myself. Is what it is. But all jokes aside, like how can we help other active duty members? How can we be great supporters for them and to be good friends?
well, I just feel like it just all comes down to respect. We have to respect one another. We never know what one person is going through at home, behind closed doors. Like, that's another thing pointed out, like during the training. Like, it was some really good training. You just never know what people got going on. Like, um, and that's I'm gonna speak on it a little bit, but that's what I was kind of seeing, when I came on board my current ship, just being respectful to one another, like just don't just talk to anybody any kind of way. And that's all across the board, from seamen, from the lowest ranking seaman on the ship, seaman recruit Johnny, all the way up to commander Tommy, just everybody just being respect, everybody respecting each other, beliefs, respecting each other, thoughts. So that's just what I noticed.
I think that's
Just
important.
uh,
Yeah.
but as far as like for example, one of the videos that we followed, there was this kid who was in high school, and I don't want to ruin the class for anybody, but this is just one of the videos or one of the storylines. But he was in high school. He kind of got picked at a lot during his class. Like, I guess they were in like a group setting, and he really wasn't saying much. His head was down, and as he was leaving the class, like, I mean, the teacher picked up on it, but like all the other students were laughing at him. So the teacher, he kind of stopped the student afterwards, like as he was leaving, and he tried to have like a serious conversation with him to try to figure out what's going on. He was telling him the things that he noticed, and then another teacher just like came out of nowhere, and she was discussing, like she was trying to discuss something with the other teacher, her coworker, about this. teacher group they have going on and how he should show up. And it's kind of like the student just kind of like slipped out of his grip. And kind of found out that student killed himself that same day. So there was a lot of regret with the teacher. You know, he was thinking like I could have stopped him, you know, or the other teacher could have just respect their privacy. They obviously were talking about something, but those were just certain things we brought up in response to the video. So, you know, like another key factor, you know, just knowing the people around you. Like me, I try to have like a personal relationship with everybody that's around me, that work with me, that I work alongside with, that I work for. So, you know, I picked up on their character. So, you know, if there's something off about them, you know, I could just go talk to them, you know, just check in with them.
Mm.
So that's something I really make it my business to do first thing on board, you know.
Absolutely, man.
So,
And that's
yeah,
something you've done for me in the past too. When I've struggled
yeah,
with very difficult times, you've been a huge, hey man, hey Laura, man, what's wrong? And you didn't say how's your day. You didn't say, you dove straight for the point because you could tell
mm,
someone's off about me. And it's little things like that that have made all the difference, man. And I just want to say
yeah. Oh,
personally,
yeah,
thank you so much.
you definitely one of those people that you could. It's a complete 180, man. When someone's bothering you, man, you're not as loud, you're not as goofy. So yeah, that's exactly what I try to do. Just talk to people, like just scoop down to their level. Sometimes they'll let you in, sometimes they won't. But yeah,
Definitely, man. Well, I've been doing a lot of different veteran outreach currently.
mm,
Um, do you plan on doing something that is involved with, creating a tribe, just as you're doing now? You're developing personal relationships with everybody,
mm.
your new command, so you can look out for them. So you can just be a good friend. You can support them, being a good brother of your other people in the Navy. What do you plan on doing after you leave the military? Do you plan on being around, staying around vets, or do you plan on leaving it behind? What do you plan on doing?
Uh, it's crazy you say that because I'm just like a real personal person. Um, I kind of feel like I want to be, like a PE teacher. I really thought about like after taking these classes, because this course, it's also another one called Safe Talk. You know, they are sponsored by this company called Living Works,
Hmm.
and I could actually have an opportunity of being an instructor of these classes as well. So I really thought about that. So it just all depends. I just like being around people. And I like to make sure everybody is feeling their best. But if not like a PE teacher or anything, like a guidance counselor, maybe, you know,
Absolutely,
yeah,
man. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Do you is that just drawing you towards the youth, like the impact you can make via working with the youth?
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I just like, you know, because it's more so personal to me because, just not having that go-to person when I was younger, I try to be that go-to. Like even with my nephews, I be around, just give them something positive to look up to.
Mm.
So yeah, I could definitely say that. But yeah, it's just more so because everybody needs somebody. So I mean, just in any given capacity. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would just hate to, lose somebody, I'm close to, and it's not the fact of not me not being there for them per se, but more so along I could have not even like tried harder with them, but like I could have reached out more, checked in more, knowing they might have something going on. So
Absolutely. And I think that's how we can make the best difference in life, just being a good a good freaking human being. Checking on people around you, it costs nothing. It's a free thing. Being a good person costs nothing. All you have to do is look around at the people around you and try to be better for them, and hopes that inspires them to be better for themselves as well. I really admire the things you're doing, man. And wow, was it a absolute pleasure to serve with you in the military. There's nothing that I can think of more that when I hear the name Cunningham than you lining us all up in the street, trying to have us march everywhere and crack. Man, I could not get
Yeah,
over it.
those were shipyard days.
Oh shit. Oh. Oh no, man. And so many memories, so many great human beings that we were able to create these relationships with. So I definitely appreciate your time, my brother. I appreciate your insight. Um, if there's anything if there's someone listening to this right now and they're going through a tough time, what would you like to say to them?
Uh, just hold on, man. Like, don't be too prideful. Reach out. Always reach out. I was having a hard time mentally just recently. It just took me. I don't even know what gave me that extra push, but I just knew I had to get help, and I had to get help ASAP. Or somebody might be missing me one day. So definitely for sure, don't feel like being strong is just keeping everything bottled in. There's always a stigma of, getting help in our community. So, just get the help you need. If you need help, just take a breather. Just slow down, slow your life down, get you some help. And, just keep holding on. It's not the end. It's always better out there. So,
Hell yeah, man. I agree 100%. Well, I definitely appreciate your insight, your time. I really admire what you're doing starting an assist program. I think that is huge. That is huge. That's a greatest
appreciate it.
way to have a serious impact on these things that haunt us personally to this day.
Mm,
The best way we can make an impact is by leading that fight against people feeling like they're alone, like they have no other
yeah,
option than to take their own life.
right.
Yes, and there's one of my favorite things is that there's nothing that you've done that you can't come back from.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
And you're creating that truth right there, man. So
Right.
much love to you, my brother. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, thank you,
Man.
man. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of my listeners. This has been another episode of Off the Deep Podcast. As always, make sure let's keep this conversation going. Head over to my Facebook page. Let's chat about how we can have a positive impact on others. There's nothing better. There's no pure currency than the effect you have on other people. So let's all just get fucking rich today, man. Much love, everybody.